Call the select board meeting to order Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. for agenda approval. Minutes 121, 128, and 129. Warrants, mail, road foreman's monthly board meeting. Under old business, we want to schedule the dog control thing. We like to send a letter requesting info on whether they are still interested. If so, have them come in. That's the two parties. The one that built the animal place down below. What's it called? Paul?
Tammy
Pownal pause.
Matursky.
Yeah.
Tursky.
Yeah.
Tammy Matursky.
And then the other person on Mount Anthony Road. If they are still interested, if you just send them a letter, Linda, and if they are, then we'll try to schedule them to get in here so we
Okay.
can find out really what we want to do
That way
there.
they can apply if they're interested, and if they're not.
I've already heard from Pownal Pets.
Okay.
And they're still researching, and I think we're ready to send a letter to the board at some point with some questions and plan to come before the board in March.
Okay, that's what we want to hear.
Because there really is no construction.
And we'll get you the name of the other people so you can talk to them too.
Yeah, at least
Okay.
we'll get in here and we can move forward.
Okay, next thing is, next week we're gonna talk, not this week, but next week we'll talk about the Legion and the Town Office Committee report on it. And that's, just information on the agenda.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Any further thing to be added? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I-
Approval of the minutes of 121:15.
So moved. Second it.
Any discussion on them? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes of 128:15.
So moved. Second it.
Any discussion on them? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes 129:15.
So moved.
Any discussion on them? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Warrants. Payroll, ending 2/6/15 in the amount of $7,532.11. It's one of these I can't believe. And payroll report ending 2/13/15 in the amount of $8,231.56. Accounts payable ending 2/6/15 in the amount of $13,798.80. And accounts payable ending 2/13/15 in the amount of $17,807.23. What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Get a second.
Second it.
Don't all you guys jump.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I abstain because one of those has my check in it. And actually, Ronnie, you abstained from the same one. I think you had your check in it too.
No, I had my check a long time ago.
Was it last week? Okay,
Last week.
Last week. I
Yeah,
remember seeing his.
One, or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought I saw somebody's check in there, besides mine. Hey, mail. See this. Town of Rutland, Vermont has asked us if they would, if we would approve with them the resolution drafted to do with solar sighting standards. They're hoping that the legislature will give municipalities more authority in the discussion. At the same time, we got a letter from the undersigned people, see, from the Renewable Energy Vermont group, and they're requesting us not to sign that resolution. So, currently, as you know, the Public Service Board cites those things. We actually have a fairly large site in our town that we actually have a wind one as well, and other things and through the process. It's not that we haven't been able to say something at the Public Service Board because you're allowed to as a municipality. It's just that you're not weighted. Okay, so it's your call. You You okay with the way it is, or you wanna read that resolution and do something with it, or?
I mean, it's nothing more than what it has been, right?
Yeah, yeah, well, it's just, we could lobby our legislature or others, you know, even the senators and the rest, if we wish to get more say in it. And there's actually been a couple, legislation movements to do that, to give people more say in municipalities. It hasn't happened yet, but just so you know, that's really what they're asking for. It's the same thing. So there are people that are working on it.
Yeah. Wait till they get the kinks out.
All right. You okay with that? Okay, we have in front of us our final reconciliation of April 1st, 2014 grand list. Total education property value was $260,424,800 for us. The listers have agreed and signed to this, and they've asked us to, they've let us know that it's a certificate that no appeals or suits are pending on these, what we have in front of us, so they would like us to sign it. What's your pleasure?
Yeah, I think we need to move forward.
Is that a motion?
Yes, that's a
Second.
motion.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or? Come on, guys. I know it's cold out and we're all tired, but let's move right along. Okay, zoning administrator report. I got a total of 6 applications. 5 of them were verifications and 1 permit. And basically, I went to the BCR meeting to do with solar, where some towns are trying to find ways to negotiate how they would get paid for these solar sightings and stuff that are there. It actually was, there's a bunch of attorneys and stuff trying to draft up some similar type things that municipalities can use.
This is the draft for revenue?
Yes, for the revenue side. And I also had a discussion with solar, with the fire district in town. They're talking about putting a solar field in next to their building down there, so that basically they can provide their own electricity. And they have had some discussions with both me and the school, and they're looking to move forward with some of that. They're not sure, at this point, I'm not sure which way they're gonna go, but they are looking at what sizing the field and doing some things. Should be aware of that. The racetrack activities are progressing on this one. I reported this early last month. Slowly, I will be meeting with one of those people this week coming up, and hopefully getting more information. I can report back to the board on that. And I met with the BCRC to do with the regional plan, and the medical center is progressing at that time when I spoke to them. I have not got a permit yet, though, for the building itself. So that's the report. Okay, town, city, village, clerk, selectmen, aldermen, trustees. This is to do with our road mileage certificate. Looking for us to sign off on it. If there's no changes, we need to check a box and sign. And I need a motion from you guys to have me sign this. Has everybody had a chance to look at this? Casey, you look at this so you know the mileage correct?
If everything's found in order, I'll make a motion to sign.
Okay, second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The other thing that's in here is the Bennington County Regional Plan draft. They're getting ready to hold some hearings on this regional plan. And I would urge people to look through it. I'll leave it here with Linda. If you can put it somewhere, Linda, where we all can grab a hold of
So
it.
I'm gonna leave it right on my desk.
And then you get a chance to look through it. There is a section in there to do with Pownal and the racetrack and other things that you might want to review and just see what it is. There's been, just so you know what they're saying from the regional point. And that's the mail. Okay. And we talked about all the stuff under the old business. The road foreman, you're up.
On the subject of the certificate of mileage, There was an issue a couple months ago with Montgomery Road.
Yes.
For the length. Property owner didn't want the road going right by his house, so he actually made a extension basically around his yard. Which added mileage to that section of road. You know, I measured it off and it came right to exactly what the state had
And measured off.
measured it off. But there's nothing that I know of that was ever engineered drawing or anything to indicate that the road was added on. So unless there was something that got done with that I didn't know about, I never saw it. So
There was a map that was brought in by Harsh showing what was going to be done and where it was going to go, the new section. But I didn't know if it included the old, which would actually gave the length. All you had was what Harsh had for new length.
there was about 400 feet that was actually added.
Okay.
And when I went to the top of the hill with the distance measuring device, right where the turnaround was, it was about 20 feet shy
Of what?
of what it was. So,
All right. But this reflects the change and we're all set.
there's no change. That's why I'm indicating to you that there was no change in the mileage,
Okay.
because it all measured out right.
Okay. As long as it's covered up to meet where this person
Good.
was coming in, we're fine with it.
We've used about 520 ton of salt. We still have about 60, maybe 70 ton left. We spent about $42,600 in salt so far.
426.
Used about 12, almost 1,300 yards of sand. Had some breakdowns.
How much did you say again in salt we spent?
42,600.
And how much sand do we have left right now?
Warehouse has got a third, maybe a little more. And the building behind the shop has got a bunch of chunks in there, but it's there's probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 loads left, maybe more.
That's behind the shop. How many
That's
down?
behind the shop.
How many? What do you think we got left down the warehouse?
Oh, I don't know about
Yardage-wise?
I don't know yardage wise, but there's a third of what was in there, so I don't know. There's probably 300 yards.
So is that enough to get us through?
Yeah.
No problem.
As soon as the weather starts to break a little bit, he'll go down in the pit, and I think there's actually a pile of sand down there, but it's of course covered in snow. But he's got some spots down there where he can dig out some sand. Just so we haven't had time. He's been in the grader or the truck, either or. We all have, so.
I was gonna say you had some extra hands on too because of
Yep.
all the snow.
Yeah. We got good, reliable part-time guys that come in anytime I call them. And,
I was gonna say we had a lot of snow, so
but we got one truck that's down at Delurie's. It's a 2001. It's turbochargers broke, exhaust manifolds are rotted out, so we can't replace the turbo without replacing those. It's got an injector issue. Not sure what that's going to entail, but they're going to check into that first before they go putting any more parts into it. We'd have done the work ourselves at the shop, but we have no way of diagnosing exactly what. Once you pull the rock arm cover off, how to test the injectors and that kind of stuff, we don't have them tools. So the other one, the 09, was down there for 3 days. It had high pressure oil pump issues. We actually changed the pump at the shop, but some of the parts that went through the pump and into the oil rails and injectors and stuff, and that stuff we can't diagnose that either, so. But other than that, things have been fine.
Let me ask you a question about the truck that's down at Delorie's. That's a 2001.
2001.
What's the rest of the truck? What's the condition of the rest of the truck?
It's got 8,840 hours on it. Cab's rusty.
Okay.
Bought it brand new in 2001. That's when Stoney got
Is
it.
there an inspection sticker on that truck?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, what are you thinking for life left of that? I mean,
It's It had an in-frame. The only reason why we're still pretty much still using it is it had an in-frame engine job done at 4,600 hours. So it still actually had usable power. And of course, you put a turbo on it and get the exhaust fixed back up so you can actually have boost. It's usable. The green one needs an in-frame. I don't know how many hours are on it. It didn't have an hour meter on when we got the truck. It's got 3,000 hours on it that we put on it when we got it.
What does it need?
An in-frame engine overhaul.
Oh, okay.
Because the cab and stuff isn't actually in good shape. It's a light-duty truck.
What year is that?
98. They came from town of Sandgate. They had it oiled every year. We've been oiling it. So the cab is actually in pretty decent shape. Doesn't have a 2-speed, it's got a road ranger in it, but it gets around pretty good. But
How are we in the way of trucks? Do we have enough trucks? Are we in a situation where we got some of the smaller trucks that should be on the road, or where are we at?
I've had, haven't had many calls about, us not being able to keep up. We have been using the old pickup, but it's just because we were down a truck.
What about the 1-ton?
1-ton's been working.
No problems with that?
Yeah, we've had about 8 plows on the ground when we go out. And I mean, you can always have more, but I mean, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, we do have to replace that one pickup because that's a given.
We keep hearing that there are vehicles that haven't been inspected and things of that nature that you're putting on the road. Is any of that happening?
No, when we got the red truck that we replaced hadn't seen a sticker in 2 years because the cab was just so bad that they wouldn't put a sticker on it.
This green pickup, that's
I'm
inspected
pretty sure
right
that's
now?
I'm pretty sure that's got a sticker on it. Yes. And it's rotten. It's rotten. It's got 130,000 miles on it, and it's been plowed down highways.
I gotta be honest, I'm concerned about using a vehicle
Yeah.
that's questionable. I think we need to look at replacing it.
Yes, we should.
Just gonna throw this out there for fodder, never mind, he's not running. I'm gonna say maybe he'd like to go to an auction, like you did with the backhoe, but
You might do that anyways.
if we talk nice, maybe?
Well, the state has them in the spring and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that,
No, I'll tell you, the town, 20 years ago bought, their first truck in an auction.
Yeah.
And they bought a couple of them there and they turned out quite well.
Yeah, pickups.
And
they
right,
last.
and
No, that's-
you had a record on everything that was,
Yeah. Those are dump trucks you're talking about.
the old
Yeah.
dump trucks, yeah.
but that, I was thinking of like how Ronnie and Hap, was it, Ron? You know,
You know.
went and bought that backhoe, which I think we got a pretty good deal on. Maybe that's the route we go with a pickup because
15 years ago, that's what we did. Remember that?
I was going to say when Henry was talking, we bought 2 green pickups
Got 2 green pickups.
somewhere at one of these auctions, and
And
they
they-
lasted quite a while.
State auction,
was it a state auction?
Yeah. So actually,
Barry.
it's in Montpelier.
Montpelier, or Barry.
Right.
Where'd we go?
It was in Montpelier, just south of Montpelier.
What about that guy on the Troy Road? Who's got 6.
I know. I haven't stopped there. I see a couple of vehicles in town.
At the National Grid auction.
National Grid.
That's where he gets his stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay. Is that National Grid auction open to anybody?
That's where Hap and I went.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm hearing from the board to sort of close this conversation out and move on to the next thing is that we should be looking at least one pickup truck, and we should either be buying it through an auction through the state or elsewhere, not buying a new one. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I think that when you sit here and you're listening to quite a fleet of got age on them, I mean, you can't buy it all this year.
That's right.
So I mean, let's see what we can. I'm not saying you're not going to end up buying a new truck, But I don't know if it's this year we should be doing that. When you only have X amount of dollars. I mean, if there's something else, you shouldn't be talking about trucks. We should postpone the new truck deal.
I agree with you, but
Okay.
and not only that, but how much are these pickup trucks used and what's the mileage put on a year that we're doing? They're used in the summer as well as in the winter.
Well, all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so they're a large mileage type vehicle
That's
for the
right.
town.
That's right.
Do we have 2 pickups?
2 pickups and a 1-ton.
So if we're looking at a couple of pickups, they're gonna be used heavily. So, and then that's the way we need to look at it.
So, but we first, I think, before we talk just truck, we gotta start getting serious about all the stuff that we have over there.
Yep.
I mean,
The other,
you need to know what the
Oh, yeah.
loader is.
there's another option too. I mean, and Jason and I talked about it. I mean, there's other towns that are buying army surplus stuff.
That's right.
And you know, the pickups and stuff like that, it may not be something that you're looking for, but some of the bigger stuff,
Yeah.
it may not be equipped with the hydraulics, and it may not have, but I mean, this stuff is low hours if it's,
They're
if
new.
it's close enough so you can go
They're
to
all
actually,
new.
if you can go to take a look at it, to see how worthy it is.
Once.
Because a lot of those machines are set up for a certain thing, like one had some kind of blower in the back of it. And that's all that thing ever did was cart that blower around.
Yeah.
Whatever it did, I don't have no clean off in airports or what, I don't know.
Right.
For low hours, 36,000 gross vehicle weight truck.
Well, I think the thing to do right now then, in my opinion, is to research a little bit, do a little online research, find out when these auctions are, and I think that we should delegate a couple of guys to go to this on the same premises we did with buying the backhoe, come up with a limit that we're set to spend and not exceed it, and if we can get some good deals on a couple of pickups, or at least a pickup,
Yeah.
I would just as soon pursue it that way.
Yeah, and at the same time, as Henry was saying, get a good inventory of your equipment and
It
put
will
something
not-
next to it that says you expect this one to last a year, this one 5
Yeah, that's
years.
right, that's right.
And if you just
I
give
mean,
us
we're
that
gonna get a
list,
couple of them fixed there,
Yeah,
you know, we
that
might as well say, they got 2 years left in it.
And that would be helpful,
Say
I
something.
think, for all of us
Whether
to
we're
have
right
to
or
look
not,
at.
that's into there.
You
yeah,
know, Casey?
Everybody's opinion is different, so what we should do is go over the shop and look things over and say,
Yeah,
this is
but
what we got, this is
and
what we
that's
should
fine,
do, this,
but
I
that's,
think, I think
I
the
understand
first-
what you're saying, I
the
know what you're
first
saying.
opinion should come from you, and then we can go over and agree or disagree.
Yeah.
But we need your list that says, this is how long you expect this, this, and this, and we'll go over and look at it. We might agree, we might not agree with some things, but we need a starting point versus all of us walking around here and one group saying one thing and
Right.
one another. Let's have a list to start with.
you
Casey,
know,
what we really want to do is, we want you to give us a list. And after you do all that, then we don't have to really do anything except say, no.
No.
We do not agree with you. Or we do agree with you.
One or the
okay?
other.
All right, but, because we don't know that equipment like you do.
Right.
right.
I
You're
mean,
running
I'm
it
not
every day.
trying to be
Well,
smart
you know,
either.
it's,
That's the bottom
and
line.
like I say, I'm not trying to be smart either, but what I'm saying is I can explain to you, like you say, I know this equipment.
That's right.
So if you're standing right there and I say, you know, this is what we've done to this thing, this is everything that we have done to this machine. And this is how many hours we're on it. This is what we use it for. This is what needs, if we're gonna keep it for another year, this is what needs to be done to it. It's a lot easier for me to do that standing right there in front of that piece than it is to do it at this table
I
right here.
understand, but my point is from a selectman's point of view, and I'm gonna speak
Okay.
for me personally.
Okay.
I would love to know. I don't know the years of the trucks.
Okay.
I don't know, a 1991 dump truck, blah, blah, blah. 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours. I don't need to know the last time the oil was changed. I just want a list of the equipment we have, and so I can say, oh, okay, this is the truck he's talking about. Even when you come to your monthly reports here, or maybe you're not here, and at least we have a list to go off of that we can hopefully discuss things on.
We always see a list, the only time I see the total list is when we do insurance. There's a whole list of vehicles that you have and the years and what they are, but it tells us nothing about
Tells you
them.
nothing, right.
Right.
And that's where you come in, when you can say, You expect 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or whatever. And when we're over there to visit, you can say, this is what here's the reason why you're saying this thing has 2 years. Because of this. I don't need to have a whole list made out saying all the stuff you did to it. But it says this thing will last 2 years. And when we're over there, we'll say, why do you say that? And then you tell me, you had all this done to it, you know it's going to last. But to go over there and just say, hey, and have you rattle off all the stuff you just did, and I do that for 10 pieces of equipment, guess what? I'm not going to rank any one of them for what years they're going to last.
Yeah, okay.
Just a simple list, simple hours.
But that would be a start,
Yeah.
and then we,
Yeah.
And-
because
and
we gotta
also
get
what would be
serious.
important too,
with
was
some
it
of
bought
this
new
stuff.
or was it bought used, you know?
We have to put his feet to the fire
You know.
and have him provide us with a list and what the years are. He expects them. And,
Yeah.
and it might not be, shit, the thing could fall apart the next week, excuse my language. But the bottom line is, we have something to go with, and luck is the draw is the luck of the draw when
Yeah.
things fall apart. But you're the guy we have to rely on. That's where we're at. It's like this pickup that's, you said is falling apart, the body's so bad on it and
It's
stuff.
rough. Yeah,
You know,
it's rough.
we
It's time
should,
to move it on.
Yep.
we
Let's
need
make
to
a
know
change.
that at the beginning of the year, and then we can work like we're talking about.
Right.
That one there sounds to me, no matter if you said it was gonna last another 2 years, where the other one might last shorter, if it's not gonna pass inspection next year, we can't put it on the road, we should be replacing it. That's,
At least talking about it.
yeah, and for the safety of the men, and the safety of the people that this is driving around, you don't want it to fall apart or have a piece fall off in the road. And,
Well, whichever one that is, that most certainly is a priority one
Yeah.
to move on, so,
yeah.
good.
Okay, what else you got for us? We can give you more work, so you just have to keep talking so we know what.
I got a question. Main Street Bridge is breaking up, the repairs.
Yes, yes. No, yeah, it could be right on that joint right there,
Are
yeah.
those, was that any of that work warranted?
It may be, I'm not sure. I'll have to wait to see the spring till,
Well, it's breaking up pretty bad right now. I mean, there's some pretty good holes
I think I
there.
still got some coal patch at the warehouse, we can,
But my thing is, if it's under warranty,
right.
I'd
Or
like to address it with the contractor before we find out that it's not in warranty anymore, before we run out of time. I'd like
At
to
least a
see-
phone
Yeah.
call to say, hey, we're having
Explain.
Yeah,
issues.
that was Belden, or it wasn't Belden, it was, I can't remember the name of the company now.
I got a call on it a couple weeks ago. I went and looked at it. It was a couple pretty
Yeah.
good holes there.
I plowed across, I plowed the shoulders off it this morning, so I see where there was a spot in it, it was a pretty good size hole, right on a joint.
Yeah, we need to.
Otherwise, complaint wise, how are we doing on complaints?
A couple mailboxes, that's it, but, a couple of them weren't, the town's fault, because, there were issues with somebody trying to push the snow back, and they pushed into somebody's mailbox, and I've had a call that, we weren't getting close enough to the mailboxes, but, I try to get as close as I can get, because they won't deliver the mail unless they do. The other thing too is people don't realize their mailbox, the bottom of the mailbox has to be 44 inches high, because the moldboard on my plow is 36 inches high. So if I can go under the mailboxes, I can get right up close so that they don't have to go out there and shovel, so that the mail lady or mail person can get to the mailbox. And a lot of times when the mailbox falls over, it isn't because of the plow hitting it, it's the material coming off the plow hits it.
I was gonna say, the old
Well,
transcript
that's kind
box.
of a touchy place to be.
Yes, and it's hard. I mean, some people want it so they don't have to go out there and do anything. And,
Yeah.
and the other thing is too, since we're limited on the amount of vehicles we have plowing, and it snows constantly all day. The next day, when it stops snowing, we're trying to clean up as much as possible, and we're filling these driveways back in. We're not doing it on purpose. We're doing it because we need to get the snow back as far as we can, because you always plow for the next storm.
And we know the next storm's coming.
You know next storm's
We
coming.
try to explain that to the people if they
Yeah.
have an issue.
Oh, yes. Been doing it for a long time.
Okay.
But no matter what you do, you're gonna hit a mailbox every once in a while. I don't care who you are.
I've got a transcript box down over the
A lot
bank,
of 'em.
but I know you
Right,
did hit
I
it with the
just didn't know
plow.
if, if there's any more this year than there was last year. I mean, any more issues with the heavy
think so.
snow and.
No, it's, when you're, pushing that much snow, you're going a little bit slower and you're not, it's less apt to push one of them over, but, some of them big chunks that roll off the edge, you blast it up into the
It's awesome.
Not much you can
some,
do.
some of the places he's been out with the grader and pushed it back, that's
Yeah,
opened up pretty
Yeah.
nice, looks good.
that's a slow process.
Sure.
He went over in White Oaks, right, pushed back?
I don't think he's been over there yet, no.
I thought I saw him down on 7 by Jimmy.
He was down south, yeah, I know he's been up on Northwest Hill, and he's been through North Pownal, he's done quite a bit up, around Ladd and Upper County and that kind of stuff.
I haven't got any calls from over there, but usually I get the calls once the snow starts breaking up because you get mud. and
I can
stuff.
do some with the truck, but, you have to be careful, so I know where pretty much all the shoulders are, but there's still, when you get that chunk of ice, I wasn't able to do it with the other truck. So now you got a big layer of ice on the shoulder that I'm pushing back now because it's all been packed down, and if I'd had that truck before, I could have just peeled it right off originally. That probably wouldn't happen, but it's working out pretty good.
I don't think you'll be doing much peeling for a few days.
No,
The way it's
you won't need no salt, you won't need no sand, because there'll be nothing but crunch.
crushed.
That's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say it won't work anyways. It's salt. That's the other thing people should be aware of. At a certain temperature, you can put all the
Well,
salt.
it will work. It'll just, you just want to hope for some sun to come out or something to activate it because it needs moisture to actually make it work anyway. So, but it's, I mean, some people say we don't use enough. Some people say we use too much. I mean, there's got to be there's a happy medium somewhere, and
Well, when you only
we
got so
try to
much
use
to
it.
use. Yeah.
we try. And I don't care. I try to use it as sparingly as possible to make it safe as possible, and because I know what the stuff costs. But we do use it. We've used a lot.
Have you ever thought about mixing chip sand with,
I do.
so?
I do put like today. I put for the 5 buckets that was in there. I put 1 bucket of sand,
Okay.
and it's the coarse stuff.
What is it called, grit sand? Do you buy it, or it's ours?
No, it's ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we got into, like I said, we got into a vein.
Because I go to get it, and, I'd buy that, but.
It's a 1A sand from
Yeah,
the package.
it's grit. What it
Yeah,
is.
grit. Boy, I'm telling you, 2 shovels full, and.
Yeah,
it's-
as long as you got all the snow peeled off. I mean,
Yeah,
if you got
yeah.
a lot of snow there, that's not
Well,
enough. But
that's right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I was wondering if you mix that with some salt.
I do. I've been taking, and you can't put too much in there because it doesn't. We don't. It's got fines in it.
Okay.
So the fines collect the salt, doesn't make the salt work like it's supposed to.
Okay.
So you just use it, one, like I say, 1 to 5. It
Okay.
works pretty good. But
Anything else, guys? Anything else, Casey? Been getting any calls on anything, Linda, that we should be discussing? All set? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Anything else before us?
Old business.
The old business I talked about, and I think we covered it when I
Yep.
did it.
Yeah, can I just tell people that
Town reports are coming?
the annual report is out. It's gonna be coming. I wanna remind you that the school meeting is at 7 p.m. Monday, March 2nd, this year, 2015. The town meeting is at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, March 2nd. And balloting is on Tuesday, March 3rd, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you are new to town and have not registered, please do so right down here at the town office and let your vote count.
And the voting, you'll be in the same place
At
you
the
use.
Pownal Center Firehouse, the voting. So,
Thanks. Anything else?
Motion adjourned.
Second it?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're out. Thanks, guys.